Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. It has been insanely hot here in Maine. Yesterday, Thursday, it got up into the 90s and the real feel was up at 120 degrees. Disgustingly hot. Today it's just as hot, up around 90, but the real feel is only 105 or 110. So, survivable, thankfully. Whew. Today's Friday, which means it is Attic Fine Friday, the best day of the week in my opinion. And today I've got a unique one. I've done sports card ones for a while now, like 6 or 7 straight weeks. So I'm going into video games, very, very rare video game finds in an attic. And first of all, though, I want to talk about my live stream coming up next Tuesday. It's my 2-year anniversary of being on YouTube. If you go onto my channel on YouTube and then click on live, you will see it's already there. You can click on notify me so it reminds you. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, July 11th. I will have a bunch of special guests, including Mike Moynihan, Chris Sewell, people who have helped me along the way, and I would like to thank them. And we'll talk a little bit about the National and stuff like that. So I'm excited about it. Hope you'll be there. I will inevitably have a giveaway of some sort. So hope you join. Attic Fine Friday is sponsored by Iron Guard Supplies. You go to ironguardsupplies.com. Order your supplies. I received my supplies in the mail. In fact, they're still sitting right here. I've got tons of stuff. And I've taken some out. They're great. You can use JunkWax20 as a code and you get 20% off your order at ironguardsupplies.com. All right, so this one is pretty long, I think. There's a lot of background that goes into this, and then there's the story. So first of all, the Nintendo World Championships happened for the first time in 1990. They started in March of 90. They went 9 months. It was a 29-city tour. They had 3 separate age groups, under 11, or 11 and under, I should say, 12 to 17, and 18 and up for this age group. And in each city, they would compete within their age groups, and then the top 2 in each age group would play for the city championship. The finalists won a trophy and $250 and a trip for 2 to the World Finals in Los Angeles. The runners-up won a Power Pad and a Game Boy. Remember how awesome those things were? I was a big original Nintendo guy. I've started collecting the black box NES games. Here's baseball, one of the original 30. Loved Nintendo and Super Nintendo. My gaming took a dive after the Super Nintendo. I continued playing Nintendo, but up until my oldest child was like 5 or 6, I didn't play much between the ages of like 18 and 30. In that championship, the way they had to do it, they had 3 games on the cartridge. There were 116 cartridges created. This is the World Championship, NES World Championship cartridge. There were 116 created. 90 of the games went to finalists, and 26 were given away in a Nintendo Power contest. So there's 116 of them. The cartridge had 3 games on it: Super Mario Brothers, Rad Racer, and Tetris. And all 3 games, you only had 6 minutes and 21 seconds to play. So what would happen is it would load up Mario and your timer would start immediately. And you would have to collect 50 coins as fast as you could, and then it would immediately load up Rad Racer. And then you needed to complete the first track as fast as you could. And then it would immediately load up Tetris, and you needed to get to your highest score possible with as much time, with whatever time was remaining after you finished the first 2 games. Pretty neat concept. I don't remember this from 1990 at all, but it sounds pretty cool. And then your score was your Super Mario Brothers score, plus your Rad Racer score times 10, plus your Tetris score times 25. And that's how they determined the winners and the runners-up. So in Los Angeles at the championship, a kid named Jeff Hansen won the 0 to 11 group. A guy named Thor Ackerland won the 12 to 17 age group, and a man named Robert Whiteman won the 18 plus age group. And afterwards, there was no formal contest, no official contest for the three of them, but they did play. And interestingly, Thor, the teenager, won everything. And then the kid, Jeff Hansen, came in second place, and the adult, Robert Whiteman, came in third. Each of them won a $10,000 savings bond, a 1990 Geo Metro convertible, not sure what the kid did with that, a 40-inch TV, and a golden Mario trophy. I would have been so happy as a kid with all of those things. Wouldn't have cared about the car. Immediately after the contest, Thor became the spokesman for Camerica, which was a NES competitor and actually the creator of the Game Genie. If you were a kid my age, I was born in '79, so in 1990 I was 11 years old. I had a friend or two who had the Game Genie, and I wanted to be over there playing all the time because it helped you cheat in every game. You could put in all these cheat codes and do awesome stuff. It was a lot of fun. So these games are rare. The cartridges, as you know, there were only 116 of them created, and there aren't that many that are out there in the wild. And I know people hate out in the wild, that's okay. In 2014, a gold one sold, it was missing its label, sold for $100,000. In 2021, one graded 8.0 by WADA, the highest grade ever seen, sold for $180,000. This one was actually, and here's a little sports card tie-in, previously traded for PSA 10 2000 Contenders Tom Brady autograph, which then sold for $556,000. So somebody got a bad end of that trade. One city winner sold his, he was the city winner of the 0 to 11 of Denver, sold his cartridge for $57,000. And just for a little context, the sealed Super Mario Bros. WADA 9.6 sold for $660,000 in 2021. I think that's the highest ever video game. It was at the time anyway. And I don't think anything has sold for higher than that since then. But $660,000, highest video game. The highest of the World Championship cartridges, I believe, was that $180,000 that had been traded for a $556,000 Tom Brady card. So we pick up this story with Tim, who lived in the Seattle area. He messaged Metal Jesus on Facebook. Metal Jesus is a gamer, apparently well known in the Seattle area. So Tim, also in the Seattle area, messaged him through Facebook one night. And Tim, the video that Metal Jesus put out on YouTube is really good. I'm going to grab some stills from it and I'm going to take part of the story, but you should go and watch that. I'll try to remember to link it in the comment or in the description here. So Tim sent Metal Jesus a picture of the World Championship cartridge, saying, hey, what do you know about this? I'm hoping you can help me find somebody to grade this. And Metal Jesus didn't have his phone with him that night, so he got it the next morning and he was convinced it was fake. He gets trolled by people often, but he did a reverse Google search and then he looked up the serial number. The serial number was 0287 on the game, and there was no match, no record of it, no reverse Google image search hit. So he thought, this might be real. This could very well be real. He got very excited and he started chatting back and forth with Tim. Tim's brother, who had fallen on some difficult times, had been a competitor in a city contest. And Tim says that he doesn't think his brother was actually a finalist, but that a Nintendo official had given him a copy of the game. So maybe they had some extras. I'm not really sure how that might happen, but Tim said that with his brother down on his luck, his parents asked Tim to go through his stuff and try to find some stuff to sell. And Tim found this video game and thought, this is interesting. Apparently it had sat in their attic and had moved several times with his parents for 25 years. I think this was in the mid-20-teens. And so he reached out to Metal Jesus. Metal Jesus connected him with Pink Gorilla Gaming to meet with a co-owner named Kelsey. And this is a big gaming store in the Pacific Northwest, gaming and things like that. So there was no box, no manual that came with the game. And looking at it, it could be, and there have been times when it was counterfeited. So Kelsey had him bring the game in, and she actually opened the cartridge up. She unscrewed the screws on the back of the cartridge, compared the inside to an image on Google that she found and authenticated it that way. Because she talked about, I'm not going to spoil how she was able to authenticate it. You should go watch that video. It's really interesting. And there was none, as I mentioned before, none of this serial number that had been documented yet. And there's a list of all the documented ones that have been found. And then Kelsey plugged it into her NES in the store and booted it up. And it worked. So cool. Tim ended up selling the game privately for $23,000. Kelsey advised him on that. Tim reportedly went back, and somebody else commented this. Guerrilla Games and Metal Jesus did not mention this as far as I can see anywhere, but somebody commented on the video that Tim had gone back to the store and tried to give Metal Jesus and Kelsey a commission for helping him, and they both refused. So great story. Great ending for Tim and his family. $23,000 is an awesome score. So there are actually multiple stories like this where people found this game in their attic, but this was the best story by far. I want to know, do you have this game? What is the best Nintendo game you have? What's your favorite original Nintendo game? For me, it was probably Mario, the original Mario, baseball, Excite Bike, things like that. Kung Fu were amazing. Those were my favorites. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. I will have a video tomorrow as well on Saturday, which I haven't been doing in a while, but I have a really interesting topic that I'm hoping to tackle. And then on Sunday, I'll have my Clearing the Bases weekly video as planned. And then Tuesday is the live stream, so make sure you're around for that. All right, guys. Thanks. I hope you have a great weekend.